Hey world, welcome back to Hey Janeé. I'm your host, Janeé Bolden. I'm a seasoned journalist and media personality, and this podcast is all about being creative, navigating life mindfully. This is my love letter to the world, my way of saying, hey world, and of course I want to hear it back.
Hey Janeé.
Hey, Janeé.
Nice. So today's guest is none other than Zeus Luby.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
And of course, I am joined by my illustrious co-host, Zada Luby.
Hi, always happy to be here.
And no, you're not seeing double. These two might actually be related. I'll let them talk about it, though.
Okay, all right.
So, Zeus, we start every episode with a moment of joy. So I'm going to start by asking you what your moment of joy was this week that you want to share.
My moment of joy was a private conversation between me and my daughter.
Aw.
You know, she let me know how well I was handling a situation in her personal life. She was complimenting me on, you know, my management of her emotions. So that just meant the world to me.
Aww. Now that's beautiful, for real. Zada, you want to share your moment of joy for the week?
So my moment of joy is actually right now.
Oh my God.
And my dad being here today.
Oh, you guys are so cute. I can't take it. So my moment of joy was hosting a Galentine's event actually, with my good friend Molly Wilson. She's married now. I got to remember that. So it was just a great reminder that community is something that you have to be intentional about. Molly reached out at like the perfect time. I was feeling really overwhelmed, and she was like, you know, she has a new album coming out. She wanted my help promoting it. And she was like, let's get some girls together and I'll play some music and we'll just play some games and have food. And she's known for like cooking these amazing meals. So
nice.
She has a studio. Zada actually came and helped me set up.
Molly is the coolest. And she's a very good cook. Oh my gosh. I had duck over there. That was so good.
Yeah. I didn't get any duck.
It was so good.
I didn't get any duck.
It was so good.
I didn't even get to it. There wasn't that much duck, but there was a lot of different variety of options. And the fish, she had like a
yeah, wasn't it breaded in like chips?
Was it?
I think it was.
I know it was a breaded fish and it was delicious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we all went home with like groceries with fruits, and I had berries and all types of crackers and cheeses, and Fletcher even got some cheese.
Really?
Yeah, it's not the best idea.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Zada, I don't remember you bringing anything back with you
Okay,
to share.
Look. My gym day was the next day.
So you didn't take cupcakes with you?
No, because I was trying not to be like a big back. I was trying to do my best because I already took so much. Like I took pasta, I took fish, I took something else too, and then I took something else, and I was taking so much, like I was leaving everything too. I had to go back like 3 different times.
No, everybody left with literally like a grocery bag full of stuff. It was so much stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's having another event in March, so I'll make sure, or you can make sure, because I know she took everyone's information.
Is it co-ed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That one will be. It's her album release party.
Is she cooking?
I'm pretty sure she will be cooking.
Hey, I'm there.
Because I need that food again. That was so good.
So good. So I really owe Zeus a huge thank you for introducing me to Zada. That's how we met. You introduced her to me at a screening, and Zada did something that's not unusual at all. When I meet young women who want to be writers or journalists, they often say like, can I shadow you, or can I get your information? Now, what they don't often do is have the follow-up, which Zada had incredible follow-up. She hit me up immediately and repeatedly. So it took her, the first time she asked, she was like, is there anything I can do to help? And I was like, oh, I'll let you know. And then she asked me again, and timing was perfect because I needed the help, and she jumped right in, and you know, she's just somebody who, you know, they say like when opportunity knocks, you have to be ready for it. And she was very ready for it. So you are probably to thank, I'm assuming, for preparing her.
Yeah, well, you know.
She's like, he don't get all the credit.
I definitely don't get all the credit because, you know, you can guide, you can pour into, you know, your children in hopes of what you put into them coming to surface. Ideally when you want it, but it comes to surface when it's time, you know, and that's, you know, you can't determine that. But for Zada is exceptional in a multitude of ways. And I think I mentioned to you before, or maybe she mentioned that, you know, I'd been talking to her about you for quite some time because we've known each other for years. And, you know, she was inspired by you and following your journey. And I was happy that you guys finally had an opportunity to meet and connect. And so she's definitely, as you can see, an apt pupil. And so her follow-up, I mean, that's one of the things that separates her from her peers. Like, she does have a lot of drive, a lot of ambition. And I'm just happy that the timing was right, you know. So I appreciate you embracing her, pulling her into this space, allowing her creative juices to flow, let her personality flow through this particular avenue.
I love it. I love having her for sure. And I think we all share something in common, which is that we have, we're multi-hyphenates. We do multiple things. So I really wanted to start the conversation just by talking about like, what are the different things that you do, and like, how do you define yourself when someone is like, when you meet someone new? I don't think we ever really had that conversation because we had Satchel to introduce us.
Right.
So we kind of had someone who kind of defined you to me without, you know, me having the opportunity to like hear what you naturally would say. Like,
well, so what I say differs from depending upon my environment, as you can imagine, as somebody who's connected to a lot of people and you do multiple things. So whatever is relevant to that environment or to the person I'm speaking to. So in some conversations, I may present myself as a nonprofit leader, you know, somebody that's deeply into the community. In other conversations, I may present myself as an actor, you know, a passionate actor. That's something that I love to do. Or, you know, an executive security company owner, you know. So it differs from environment to environment, person to person.
No, that makes a lot of sense. What did you pick up, I think, from your dad, seeing him navigate different worlds? Like, how has that shaped you growing up and becoming who you are as a professional?
I feel like it has shaped me in, one, it's made me endeavor to do a lot of different things. It makes me want to really explore everything that I want to do, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people are afraid to do. They feel like for you to be successful, you only need to focus on one thing. But I watched my dad be successful in multiple different ways, and he didn't focus on one thing. And then he also encouraged me to strive to do everything that I wanted to do. But also just like his drive, watching him get back up from any obstacle that is put in front of him has really motivated me to just keep going and doing everything that I want to do, no matter how hard it gets. So
thank you, baby.
And I've known that you were a community activist, but I don't think I had Zada send me your bio. So I think it's the first time that I've really seen your story kind of spelled out in that way. So I understand that part of your humanitarian work comes from your personal experience. So I don't want to tell your story for you. If you could just start, I guess, when you were 17, what happened that kind of put you on this path?
Okay. So I'll try to condense the story as not to be too long, but my high school had like a lean on me, for those who understand that reference kind of feel. So a lot of people, right. So, you know, a lot of people that I was connected to, a lot of people were, you know, selling drugs, moving things around. And because I've always been community minded, I didn't want to go in that space. I could never see myself harming my community. So, but I've always been business minded. So I started my first business in high school. I went to my mother, pitched a business idea to sell candy. So she got me started. and I was kind of off to the races. And so, of course, back then there was no Cash App, there was no PayPal, so you had to keep, money in your pocket for your clients. And so when some hoodlums saw me counting my change in the classroom, they set me up to be robbed. They tried to rob me right after class, and that kind of devolved into a war between me and my people and them and their people. And that kind of spiraled out of control until I ultimately was expelled from school behind all of that drama.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to an alternative school, graduated early, but due to that expulsion, myself and the vice principal of that school, we clashed as well. And he had a terrible reputation for pushing a lot of kids to drop out of high school. And so he spearheaded the case against me when I was expelled, and I ended up coming out on top in that situation. And he kind of felt like I got the better of him. So when I was coming back to my high school, I was actually training some of the football players after school. And I ran into him one day, and we got into a verbal dispute, and he had campus police come harass me, tell me to leave the campus, ban me from the campus. And as I was leaving, I rolled my window down and I looked at him. I said, all right, that's all right. I was fuming. And so as I drove off, I was passing the school and I saw the campus police flying out of the parking lot with the lights flashing, sirens blaring, flying down the road. And I'm driving. I'm like, I wonder who they're after. And then they got behind me. I'm like, what's going on? So they pulled me over there was a neighborhood right across the street from the school. They pulled me over right at the front of that neighborhood. Pulled me out of the car, one threw me on the hood, and the lead cop, who was really good friends with the vice principal, he was saying, you just couldn't keep your mouth shut. And I was like, what are you talking about? I really didn't understand what he was referencing. I later found out from one of my best friends, he was there when I got kicked off campus. He said, when I left, the vice principal said, he threatened to kill me, go get him. So one cop had me with my hands behind my back. The other cop was kind of circling the car. The windows were down. It was hot outside. And he was probably looking for weed,
anything.
So he found a blade that was wedged in between my seat. And I had that blade in the car because I also had a mobile mechanics company that a buddy of mine and I started together, right?
He was already acting Jamaican in high school.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I used that in all honesty for two reasons. It was a pry tool for the business.
Yeah.
But it was also just in case remnants from that drama when they tried to rob me, broke out. And so when he pulled that out, he was like, I got you. And they ended up charging me with having a deadly weapon within 100 feet of school grounds, which means if I had driven just a little further down the road, just a little bit further, they wouldn't have had any charges to hit me with. They would have had to let me go. But that derailed my life because that was my first time going to jail. And so went to jail. I got out, didn't spend much time in there. And a year later, I got a summons in the mail telling me my court date, time, location. At the time, I was making good money. I was building martyr trains. So I had a good job helping to take care of my family. I could afford an attorney, got my attorney. And then about a week after that first letter, they sent another one telling me that they changed the court date, time, location, whatever. I sent it to my attorney. We go to court. I pay my debt to society. I'm thinking, all right, finally, that's behind me. And then a week after that, I get home from like a 12-hour shift. I'm dirty and tired. Cops come to the house saying they got a warrant for my arrest. I'm like, you ain't got no warrant for my arrest. I just went to court.
Yeah.
I said, listen, come inside. Let's call your superiors and get this straightened out. So I'm thinking this is going to be over quick.
Confident.
Right. He made the call. I saw him shaking his head. He hung the phone up. He was like, sorry, bro. We got to take you back to jail. I was like, what? I go back to jail. Talk to my attorney from jail. I'm like, why am I here? He was like, oh, they just made a mistake. I said, wait. Slow down. Wait a minute. You telling me I'm in jail on accident? this is the kind of mistakes that the system can make. So that was my first time seeing a crack in the system. I was like, all right, what do I need to do? He said, nothing, you good. I said, are you sure? I'm 18. I don't know the law. That's why I pay you. You sure I'm good? He said, yeah. I get out, go back to living life. What I found out later was there was a series of clerical errors made. That first letter they sent me that was dismissed, they forgot to push that court date out the system. So when I didn't show up, they issued a bench warrant.
Oh, wow.
First mistake. Second mistake, I pled to a misdemeanor. I used something in Georgia called first offenders, which clears your criminal record one time. Somehow that went from supposedly a clear record to a felony conviction. So there were a series of clerical errors that turned me into a convicted felon.
Wow.
And I had no idea. And so when I left the company building monitoring after a couple years, thinking, man, I'm young, I'm fit.
Yeah.
I'm about to make good money, take care of my family. The bottom fell out. I couldn't get hired anywhere. Money dried up. And life just kind of fell apart from there. And it took me some years to figure out that I had this felony conviction. It was actually, I found out I was a convicted felon shortly after I found out Zada was on her way to be born.
Oh, wow.
And it took me about 7 years to get that off my record, but I couldn't get into college, couldn't get into the military, couldn't get a decent job. So I did a little bit of everything legal just to get by.
That's challenging. How did you keep your head up? Like, how did you keep from, you already sound very principled. You were in high school, you had all types of elements around you, but you resisted those elements. Now that you were pushed into this category, convicted felon, how did you still keep those same principles and keep your head up and, or even, I guess, keep your head down, rather stay on the right path?
It was really Zada.
Okay.
Zada was she was my saving grace. I tell her all the time that she saved my life because I was so angry, I was so enraged that I had done everything right. I was the one telling my peers who was selling drugs, breaking in houses, stealing cars. I'm like, listen, I got to stop doing this because not only are you harming your own community, I don't want to see you locked up.
Yeah.
And a lot of them never spent time in jail, never had convictions on their record. And I was the one in and out of jail due to compounded issues. So I was enraged. I'm like, why? Why am I here? Out of all people, why am I here? So had it not been for Zada keeping me focused, giving me a reason not to spin out of control, because I'm like, so y'all want me to be a criminal?
Yeah.
You robbing me
it
of
does
opportunities.
seem like it sometimes that they want
that's
they
how
want
it's designed.
the
It's
negativity.
a combination of the way things are designed, because they're designed foolishly backwards.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gaps. But in addition to that, it's the apathy. The apathy compounds those issues, because I had all my documentation. As soon as I found out that I had this felony conviction and exactly what went wrong, I gathered my documentation. I sent heartfelt letters to the judge and the district attorney who initiated this catastrophe. No response. So I went in to see them in person.
Yeah.
I finally came across the district attorney. I'm like talking to her like, oh my God, it's so great to meet you. This is my situation. She's looking at me like I'm dirty. I'm like, can you help me? She was like, no, I can't help you. I was like, yeah, you can. You kind of ruined my life just a little bit. So I'm going to need your assistance. And then she was like, well, I'll tell you what. If you don't leave, I'll have you locked up again. Ran me up out of there. So
That's wild.
It's crazy. I wrote heartfelt letters to my local politicians. Nothing. Scraped some money together, got an attorney, and went to the attorney, gave him the documentation. He looked over it. He was like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I could take your money, but I'm not sure. I'm not confident I'd be able to get you satisfaction. He said, you can take your money elsewhere, but they'll probably, just take your money and not help you. So all right, so what am I supposed to do now?
Right.
I did everything that I knew to do, everything right. And so I was like, all right, so I'm a convicted felon. That's what it is. But it was Zada who kept me on track. Because without Zada, if I had found out I had that felony conviction on my record and Zada wasn't on her way, man, we wouldn't even be talking here. Because, yeah.
You would have just succumbed to...
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It would have been no reason for me to... For what?
Right.
You know what I mean? So she definitely saved me.
Is that a lot of pressure, Zada?
No, I don't think it's a lot of pressure. I think it's actually very sweet. We've talked about it multiple times. But I also wanted to know, because I know, because I've heard this story before, I know that also led you to get into security.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the only jobs that you could have at that
Correct.
time.
Yeah.
So, and I also know that security required a lot of your time and energy. So how did you balance working in security with also being a father and still being there for me?
So, great question, interviewer. So, yeah, security was really the only job, stable job, because I did any and everything to make ends meet. So I've operated in over 30 some odd different professional capacities trying to find stability. And it was security, that club security in particular, that gave me that stability. So it was he was like a little brother to me. He saw me struggling and not being able to hold on to anything. And he was like, we got to get you a job, man. He was like, all right, I'm going to take you to this local club that I go to, introduce you to the head of security. Went out there, met the guy. I was like, listen, I'm looking for a job. He was like, well, we have in-house security. The guy you want to talk to is the one that manages the external security. He was like, but he never really comes here. And he was like, oh, wait a minute. There he is right there.
Oh,
he
wow.
just so happened to be walking up. So, I told him my situation. And he said, all right, we'll give you a shot. And so I learned quickly that the colorism in the security space is heavy, because light skin, light eyes, blonde hair, telling people what to do and what not to do, man, nobody trying to listen to me, man.
Wow.
Nobody. They're like, man, if you don't get your runway model, get out of here. I'm going to do what I want to do. And so everywhere I went, I had to go nuclear and knock somebody out.
Oh, no.
In order to earn my keep, because, as soon as you start working, the clock is ticking. Like the hourglass is flipped over. They're trying to see, are you effective at your job? If you're not, then you got to go. We got to replace you.
Yeah.
And so, for my darker coworkers, when they would tell somebody to do something, they might do it reluctantly, but they'll do it. I come and say something, they brush me off like I'm not even there. So I ended up fighting more frequently than a lot of my peers.
Wow.
So that created more danger for me, but it also created a reputation, throughout the industry. And so that allowed me to take care of Zada, because that showed that I was effective at what I did and allowed me to provide for her. But to answer your question, thankfully I was young. I was super fit. It was really my fitness that allowed me to burn the candle at both ends, because staying up all night, working all night, and then being a present father during the day was tough. But my exceptional health allowed me to juggle that way. You know what I'm saying?
What made you disciplined like that with your health? Like, at what point? Was it from being an athlete as a kid? Was it a family thing?
So you could say it was a family thing, because growing up, I watched my family, different family members, suffer from every sickness and disease you can think of.
Yeah.
High blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks, mastectomies, double mastectomies, amputations, all manner of things. And I didn't want to suffer like that. And I don't have any memories of any of my grandfathers because they died when I was young, So it was also a byproduct of very intentionally developing healthy stress relief and stress management mechanisms, because when I was young and I'd be dealing with stress, like starting in junior high, I believe, we didn't have an alarm system on our house, so when I would be up late stressing, I didn't want to stress eat. I didn't want to smoke. I didn't want to drink. So I would just get up and I would like dribble for miles, you know. But I very intentionally wanted to do something where when I came out of my stress period, I wouldn't look like I just came out of my stress period.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I would come out better than when I went in. So I was either running for miles or I would be dribbling for miles, doing something productive when I got stressed out. And so, of course, as I further developed my fitness regimen, I would lean into that. I'm stressed out, I'll go run 5, 10, 15 miles.
You came up with that on your own, or were you influenced at all?
No, I came up on my own because in my household, nobody was
working out.
There was no fitness to speak of.
Wow.
There was no healthy diet to speak of. Now my mother is.
But sometimes it'll influence you the other way when
it
you.
Can.
Yeah.
It can. I made that decision, and it was tough because my mother's a phenomenal cook, the best cook I know. She's a caterer, nutrition specialist, personal chef. She is phenomenal. So the decadence was tempting.
Yeah.
But I had to discipline. I had to create like a bubble of discipline in my household.
So you wouldn't eat your own mama's food? Was she like?
Yeah, I would have to limit it. And she'd be like,
You'd
baby.
have in moderation.
Exactly. And then I would have to like take the ingredients and cook my own healthy versions, which ultimately benefited her because when I became a personal trainer later in life, I gave her my celebrity clients and I taught her how to cook healthy iterations of her decadent meals, you know, so that she could be their personal chef.
Nice. Yeah. Why'd your mom name you Zeus?
So
or did she name you Zeus? Did you?
That came from her.
Okay.
No, you can't do that. That's against the rules. Hey, listen,
your homies could do it though. Your friends could call you.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody else has to give you a really fly nickname. Listen to me, y'all people out there. You cannot give yourself a fire nickname, okay? So if you gave it to yourself, get rid of it. Get rid of it. You let somebody else do this. So my mother gave me that name. I don't know where that came from, but
she like mythology.
I guess she's an artist, so I think there was some inspiration there. She definitely is knowledgeable to a degree on Greek mythology, but that definitely came from her.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so we didn't talk about the acting stuff at all. Where'd you get the acting bug from?
So I have always been a character. Always been a character.
Yes.
High school, you know, all throughout school. And so a lot of people would mention to me, especially when I started working club security, I'd be goofing off with the staff at the end of the night. And, you know, I always like imitating people, mimicking individuals, you know, mimicking voices. And so people would tell me, you know, you should really get into acting. And I would take it as a compliment, but I'm like, listen, I got a daughter to take care of. Okay, we're not doing none of that. That's irresponsible. I'm very pragmatic. So it was one day I was in Lenox Mall, in the food court, in between personal training clients. I was getting something to eat, and these two guys came up to me randomly and was like, hey, man, are you an actor? And back then, I was standoffish, so I'm like, what you want to know for? So I squared up on him. And then I read the lead guy's shirt, and it had the name of a production company.
Oh, okay.
I said, you work for a production company? He was like, yes. I was like, all right, I'm going to calm down. So he was saying there's an audition across the street at the Marriott. You should check it out. I said, look, are they looking for people that look like me? Blonde-headed, muscular, light-skinned, light-eyed people? He was like, well, you never know.
Do you have a chip on your shoulder from being blonde-headed,
yes,
muscular, light-skinned person?
When he was younger, he got bullied so hard. I did too.
When I was
everybody gets bullied.
Yeah.
No, but
some
for that
iteration.
specifically.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're all sensitive about whatever the thing is that we got bullied for.
Yeah.
But I think most of us don't realize that.
I would agree. You know, so it wasn't necessarily a chip on my shoulder, but I know from what I understood about the acting industry, they normally try to pick people who are attractive iterations of the norm. So I'm like, I'm not the norm, so don't send me on a dummy mission over there to waste my time. That's why I was responding like that. And the guy was like, well, you never know. So I sat in the car, ate my food. I thought about it and said, all right, well, I ain't got nothing else to do. So I went over there, walked in, and the guy who was telling me about the audition was the writer-director.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you slick. You slick. So
you got handpicked from Lenox Mall.
Right. So I'm glad I went over there. He told me what to do, walked me through it. And he gave me the script and gave me the character. And I read the character, and the character was some slime ball that ended up sexually assaulting a female.
Oh, Lord.
And so I walked past him and I threw the script at him and was walking out. He's like, hey, what's wrong with you? What's up? I said, listen, man, that's outside of my moral parameters. I'm not doing that. And so he was like, wait. We got other roles. Calm down. So then he put me onto this character that was in the military that was trying to win the affection of a young lady. And I was like, all right, I can do that. So I read for the audition. And he was like, this your first time? I said, yeah. He was like, well, you did a really good job.
Nice.
I said, okay. He said, you should do this more often. I said, all right. And he said, we'll be calling people later in the week. I said, all right, whatever. I left and forgot about it. And about 5 days later, he called me, asked me, was I interested in the role? I asked him, are you offering it to me? He said, yeah, and it kind of started from there.
Nice.
Was that 3 girls?
Huh?
Was that 3 girls?
Yes.
I knew it.
Yeah, don't be saying that too loud. I don't want nobody looking that up. That was good.
Okay.
Low quality. Jesus.
We all have work that we may or may not be as proud of.
Oof.
In terms of, but we all got to start somewhere.
True.
You got to start somewhere.
But everybody ain't got to see where you started.
That's true. That is true. I wanted to ask you about your work now. I know your experience with the clerical errors and the getting the felony conviction has led you to work with on anti-recidivism
Correct.
projects. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about your platforms.
Okay. So I recently exited an organization that I had been with for about almost a decade.
Oh, okay.
And that organization was, the focal point was helping young people ages 17 to 28 that had gotten into a little bit of legal trouble, nonviolent offenses, males and females. Working with them for a 12-month period, providing with mentorship, helping get GEDs, helping get gainfully employed, teach them life skills like emotional intelligence, financial literacy, entrepreneurship skills, career readiness, voting rights, civil rights, health and wellness, substance use, and addiction recognition.
You can tell you've used that
the whole
before.
nine, you
Yeah.
know? So very comprehensive. And then whatever charges landed them in the program, they would get dismissed, and we would partner with the district attorney's office or the solicitor general in the county. And if they had prior cycles, we would work to seal and restrict those prior cycles. So giving people a clear runway to self-actualization. So basically a program that I wish I had that would have cleared my record, gave me the support I needed to get my life back on track.
Yeah.
So trying to become what I wished I had had. And so I exited that organization. Be the
change you wish to see.
Exactly. Truly embody that. And so I exited that organization. The organization decided to no longer offer the program in the same way. So stepped away from that organization. Now I'm doing my own iteration of the program. But what I learned in staying in the 17 to 28-year-old space is that we need to catch our young people before they touch the criminal justice system. So now my focal point is I'm finalizing the development of high school programming. Okay. So going into high schools and, of course, young people are dealing with a lot, dealing with, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, extreme poverty, neglect, all manner of things. And so that causes them to act out. Yep. And a lot of people are not taking the time to get to the root cause of that conduct. And so this program, that's what I was doing. I was identifying, why are you here? Why did you make that decision? And then you'll see the different dimensions of abuse. You'll see mental health issues that haven't been diagnosed or properly diagnosed, or the medication is not being taken, or it's not the proper dose. So it's a multitude of reasons that lead to poor conduct. So I want to focus on the high school kids to catch them, implement the same programming, because I know how effective it is.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
that's the time. Adolescence is the best time to like
Exactly.
intervene for sure.
Right.
I know when I think about my own life, there's definitely things where I feel like if I only knew what I know now
Exactly.
when I was 12, 13,
Right.
14, that kind of thing.
Right.
I have a couple segments that I do every episode. I know you've watched us before.
Of course.
So I want to get into See, Stream, and Skip. This week, I'm letting everyone know, go see GOAT. It came out on Friday, the 13th. And it is an animated film from Sony Pictures Animation that was also produced by Steph Curry.
Oh, he did produce that.
Caleb McLaughlin plays Will, who is a
Yeah.
small goat who plays Roarball, which is kind of the Animal Kingdom's version of basketball, but it's dominated by big animals, rhinos and jaguars and horses. And there's a really flashy horse named Maine that's voiced by Aaron Pierre. There is this, I think it's a jaguar named Jet, who is the league MVP that's voiced by Gabrielle Union.
Oh, you got a nice cast.
And it's a really cool cast. I know I like to use my C's as also an opportunity to get people to read my stuff. So there is a Black Enterprise article. I interviewed the costume designer for the film, which I would never think an animated film has a costume designer.
Yeah, I'm thinking that one
Dominique Dawson did some incredible costume design for this. And she's really gifted, really sweet. Also an NYU alum like me. So I want to make sure people check that out and her out. And also just the story. I think the story is amazing. It's a big team-oriented story. You know, I'm big on community and teamwork, and I think that message is all there. I think also it teaches kids to dream big and go after their dreams, and that even when people tell you you can't do something, you can show them that you absolutely can. So that's,
check that out.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Okay.
For stream, I am telling everyone to stream J. Cole's new album, The Fall Off. I have really enjoyed that one. I think, you know, it's one of those double albums, so it's a little long. I think a little bit could have been trimmed from it, but I don't want to over criticize because I do think it's a great album. He does a great job of paying homage to the other greats. I think he really has shown that he belongs in that big three convo, that, you know, people might debate over it. The marketing that he's been doing is something worth paying attention to for people who are still fans of hip hop and rap music. I think, you know, J. Cole has been consistent throughout his career in being a stand-up guy, you know, but also real, able to connect, and somebody who has shown that they're in the culture for all the right reasons, and that they have the talent to be there. I just want to applaud him. My skip is I'm skipping Outside Noise. I think that also kind of came from GOAT, just like realizing, you know, there's always people who are going to say like, you can't do something.
Yeah.
I think in my journey as a full-time entrepreneur, you know, I've had a lot of people say like, you know, maybe you want to pivot out of your career, and it's been tough. You know, I've similar to as you were talking about, like trying to find stability.
Right.
It's been rough for sure, and I think I have continued to like learn to listen to myself and not listen so much to outside people, because there's so many different opinions. If you start listening to like other people,
You get derailed.
you can totally get derailed.
Kudos to you.
Thank you. So that's C-Stream Skip for this week. Before I let you go, I'm gonna give Zada one last opportunity to ask Dad a question. You have any other questions for Zeus Luby?
So I want to know what other ideas that you have to help your community, because we talk about that all the time. You have so many ideas, so many amazing ideas all the time. So I would like for you to share with the audience.
So, I mean, there's so much work to be done. There are good people out here trying to do it, but more attention needs to be brought to it. So, you know, one of the efforts that I plan on pushing behind is rape kits. Unprocessed rape kits are an incredibly prevalent issue in a multitude of counties.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, if there's a legitimate rape kit that the victim has taken the time, to submit to, which is also extremely difficult, and that's just sitting on the shelf somewhere because the funding is not there, or individuals are not willing to put the funding toward it. They rather put it towards other things that are not as important.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Especially because most offenders, sexual assault offenders are repeat
right.
offenders. So it's if you want to prevent,
you have to process the kids immediately.
Absolutely.
The kids immediately to get them off the street, because if they're not caught, they're going to keep going until they get caught.
Exactly.
So rape kits, an initiative in that space is one thing. There's also, a lot of people have legal cases that they've settled. They've met all their requirements. They've, served their probation, satisfied their probation, paid their fines. And so their charges qualify to be removed, expunged, sealed, and restricted. But they don't know.
Oh,
they
so
don't,
more education around that.
Because that stuff, it might be from 15, 20 plus years ago. But if it's showing up on your background check, it impacts where you can live. It impacts where you can work, what jobs you can get, opportunities.
100%.
So there are hundreds of thousands of people to millions of people that have these cases that are dead docketed. We won't get into that right now, but they qualify for being sealed and restricted, and they are not aware. So that's another initiative that I want to push behind. And I could be here all day. But the last one is rape in male penitentiaries.
Wow.
That's a huge issue.
Yeah. I can imagine that's a hard one to talk about, too.
It really is.
Yeah.
So that's another initiative. I have some things that I'm going to put in motion to help, address that particular issue, and help cut those numbers down and the frequency of that as well. So thank you for that question, baby.
Beautiful question. Let the people know where they can find you.
So listen, all social media platforms, Zeus Luby, ZeusLuby. But listen, you can always just Google me. And you can find everything you need to know.
So today's affirmation is about community. I'm big on community, and I believe affirmations really work for this one, because I know for me, anytime that I've said an affirmation, I've really had it come to fruition, especially around people showing up for me. So my affirmation is, I choose community that protects my peace, honors my boundaries, and grows with me. Together, we build something none of us could build alone.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Beautiful and powerful. I love that.
Thank you. So again, thanks for joining us for another episode of Hey Janeé Podcast. This is my love letter to the world, my way of saying, hey world. And of course, I want to hear it back.
Hey, Janeé.
Hey, Janeé.